Remember the days of landline phones, when you were literally tied to a cord to talk to someone far away? Long before we had the world in our pockets, visionaries dreamed of a future where you could talk to anyone, anywhere, without wires. This is the story of how that dream became a reality. Our journey begins in the early 1970s with a brilliant engineer named Martin Cooper at Motorola. He's often called the father of the mobile phone. Cooper wasn't just thinking about technology. He was thinking about freedom. He imagined a device so personal, so powerful, that you could carry it with you and make calls while walking down the street. It sounds simple now, but back then it was science fiction. Then came the historic moment. On April 3, 1973, Martin Cooper stood on a busy street in New York City, holding a clunky prototype. This thing was a beast. It weighed nearly 2.5 pounds and was 10 inches long, but in his hand he held the future. To prove his invention worked, he decided to make a call. And who do you call when you've just invented the mobile phone? Your biggest rival, of course. He dialed Joel Enniel, the head of research at Bell Labs, Motorola's main competitor. Imagine Enniel's surprise when he picked up his desk phone. On the other end, Cooper's voice came through clear as day, declaring, "Joel, I'm calling you from a mobile phone, a real handheld, portable mobile phone." Reportedly, there was just silence on the other end of the line. Enniel and his team had been working on car phones, but Cooper had just leapfrogged them into a new era of personal communication. So, how did this brick phone even work? The magic was in a concept called the cellular network. The system divided a city into a grid of cells, each with its own radio tower. Your phone would connect to the nearest tower, and as you moved from one cell to another, your call would get handed off seamlessly. This fundamental idea is still what powers our modern 4G and 5G networks today. It was a revolutionary way to manage radio frequencies and allow thousands of people to make calls at the same time without interference. Of course, that first call was just the beginning. It took another 10 years of tireless work and development before the world's first commercial handheld mobile phone hit the market. In 1983, Motorola released the legendary DynaTAC 8000X. This phone was the ultimate status symbol of the 80s, but it came with a hefty price tag, nearly $4,000, which is about $12,000 in today's money. For that price, you got a phone that could store 30 numbers, gave you a whole 30 minutes of talk time, and took 10 hours to charge. Despite these limitations, it was a sensation. It showed the world that mobile communication wasn't just possible. It was the future. The creation of the mobile phone wasn't a solo act. It was the culmination of decades of research by countless engineers and scientists in fields like radio technology, battery science, and network design. Teams at Motorola, Bell Labs, and other pioneering companies faced immense challenges. They had to figure out how to manage signal interference, how to shrink powerful electronics, and how to create batteries that could last. They also had to navigate complex government regulations to get the necessary radio frequencies approved. It was a monumental effort driven by a shared vision. As we moved into the late 80s and 90s, the race was on. Companies like Nokia and Ericsson joined the fray, and mobile phones started getting smaller, cheaper, and much more user-friendly. The brick phones gave way to flip phones, candy bar phones, and devices that could even send a simple text message. This rapid evolution set the stage perfectly for the smartphone revolution that would arrive in the 2000s. Turning our phones from simple communication tools into the powerful, multifunctional hubs of our digital lives. The story of the first mobile phone is so much more than just a tale about an invention. It's a powerful story about vision, human ingenuity, and the relentless pursuit of an idea that seemed impossible. It's a reminder that a single dream, the dream of untethered communication, could radically change how we connect with each other. It collapsed distances, fostered relationships, and built the foundations of our global village. So the next time you casually pull out your sleek smartphone to send a text, make a video call, or scroll through your feed, take a moment to remember where it all started. It began with a heavy, brick-like device in Martin Cooper's hand on a New York City street, making a bold call to his rival. That single moment proved that a world without wires was possible, opening the door to the hyper-connected reality we all live in today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this trip back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the tech that shapes our world. See you in the next video.